Welcome back, fellow Unity enthusiasts. In today's tutorials, we're gonna cover custom editor windows in Unity and manage all the objects and elements in one window through our game design. Let's go. So basically, in Unity, you can create any custom window you want and put it any feature or tools in it and use it. So in large projects like RTS games or any big projects or RPG games and open world, many data will be changed through the design or managementing the data of the game. For that, we can create window like this and put any data like scriptable objects and any management scripts and data through our game in it and use it through the editing in one window. For example, we have game manager, actor management, or like entity manager, and put it here and we can edit here and then will affect the inspector or the object itself. So for that, we can go through the implementing from scratch to this. So let's go. So for start implementing our custom editor window, we go to the scripts editor and then create a folder editor window, and then inside that create a script called game manager window. We're going inside that game manager window. We want to get rid of this. And then we have to create another script called extended editor window and then inherit from it. So extended editor window, creating it here. And then we have to inherit from editor window in Unity editor. Okay. So we have to go to the editor window namespace to get that script. And then, so first of all, for our window, we need a public static method, type void, and then show our window. And we need a notation like menu item, and that would be get a string from us, window, and then game manager. That would go through here. It will be window and game manager. So inside that we have to create a game manager window called window and then equal to get window type of game manager window, our script, and then inside that we have to give it a title like game manager and then semicolon. That would be our custom window. No, this one, game manager, and that would be our custom window, but it's empty. So let's go inside that, and then we need a couple of things. First of all, we need a private GUI content. If you don't know what is this, you can watch our previous videos, tutorials, and find out all things you don't know in this tutorial. And another property, another variable for our sidebar, so boolean sidebar, and then our private int current tab that we already inside that. So after that, let's go and implement our GUI. So with this method, we can draw everything we want inside our window. So first of all, we have to create our sidebar. So in order to do that, we have to implement our tab label. So new GUI content, and inside that semicolon, and inside that we need a new content, new GUI content called game manager for our script manager, and then our entity manager would be second tabs and name of the second button for that tabs. So we can draw everything we want inside this method and will be show through our window. So first of all, we can create a label for that. So GUI layout dot label, and then we can go for game manager window, and for style of it, editor styles dot bold label. Going to see the result. Yeah, game manager window. And then we have to open and close our editor layout. So we want, first of all, we wanted like it's horizontal. We want it horizontal. So one tab, and other it's a detail tab. So sidebar window and then our detail window. So we need horizontal. So editor GUI layout dot begin our horizontal, and end it. So duplicate that and then end our horizontal. So inside that we have to create our vertical. So this time vertical for our sidebar. So editor GUI layout dot begin vertical. Inside that type of box, and then our parameters will be GUI layout dot width of that would be by editor GUI layout, and width of that would be for now under 15. And then we have another GUI layout for our expanded height will be true. I will show you in a minute what is that. So yeah, that would be go all through all the way down to our bottom that expanded, and then we can editor layout dot end at vertical. Yeah, something like that. Go all the way down. But there is nothing inside that, so we're going for create our tab bottoms. So for that, we're going through all of the tab labels dot length, and then we can create, first of all, we can create our styles. So we can go after our tab labels, go for GUI styles, GUI style, tab style equal would be editor styles dot toolbar button, and then our GUI style again would be selected tab style. For if we select that window, or if we select that tab, would be new GUI style and then tab style, because it's the same, and then selected tab style dot normal dot background equal to selected tab style active dot background. And then inside that, we have to check if it's selected or not. So we have to implement another GUI style. So GUI style that will be style equal to our current tab equal to I. If it's true, so we select it. So select the style. If we not select that, use that tab style default. So for creating our tabs buttons, so GUI layout dot toggle this time, and then current tab equal to I, and then tab labels, it's the name of that, tab labels with I, and then other thing would be style. Yeah. If we clicked on that toggle, just please current tab will be set into I for that. So let's go check it out. Yeah, this is our tabs, but why is it here? So we can just move it inside our vertical window, vertical box, and then we can see, yeah, here, something like that. We can select it and our current tab will be changed after we click on that. So after that, we have another vertical box. So I just copy on that, and then editor GUI layout that and our vertical again. This time for the detail, so would be here, and it would be expanded height through all the way down to the bottom. So in here we have to check, first of all we can draw our label again. So GUI layout that label would be our tab labels. Inside that we can pass current tab to get the correct tab label, and then our editor style would be bold label. We can verify that we created tabs bottoms is correct, so we can just select them and change the variables. So after that we can switch for current tabs, and then case 0 will be our game manager, and then our case 1 will be our entity manager. So for drawing every object in our through our window, first of all we have to get our object. So we can go for create variables for each of them. So private game manager called game manager, and then another one private entity manager will be entity manager. And then for set each of them, we're using with tags. So we find through our hierarchy by tags of that object. So I set a tag for game manager, game controller, and for our entity manager tag would be entity manager. So we can go for our game manager equal to game object dot find object with tag would be, this one would be game controller dot get component would be game manager. And for entity manager we set entity manager find with entity manager tag and get our entity manager component. So after that we have to implement a function for draw our objects. So we're going for draw object, and we're going to pass our game manager, and then done. So we don't have that. We have to implement that inside our extended editor window. So we're going for protected because we inherit from it. We don't need to public it. So protected, draw object, and then our object inside our not system, inside our Unity engine. Don't confuse with that, and then call it object. And inside that function we have to create our serialized object. If you watch that previous videos, you know that we inside our editor to draw any property we need to get our serialized object, and then from that serialized object we get our serialized property. So we need two variable, again protected, and then serialized object called serialized object, and then protected serialized property would be serialized property, and then inside that function we set our serialized object equal new serialized object, and we pass our object for that. And then we need another variable, will be private this time because we don't need it anywhere else through this script. So that would be selected property pass. That would be pass of selected property. Okay, so and then inside this we need another one for that. Local variable last prop pass would be equal string that empty for now, and then we can just do the serialized object or update it for apply our changes inside the window, and then apply it all the way down inside our apply our changes to the specific serialized object. In this case would be game manager itself. So and then we need another serialized object. No, and then we have to get serialized property. So our serialized property local variable would be property equal serialized object dot, and then get iterator. That would return our first property in our object. So and then we can use while loop for property dot next visible property, and that would be inside it get inter children. So we're going to through it because we want to print or draw all things inside that object. So that would be return a boolean. That would be if there is a next property that will be visible, so and move to the next visible property. So inside that, first of all, we have to check if our property dot is array. What does that mean? Something like this: all entity. This is array or generic variable that has children inside it. So first of all, we check that, and if our property dot property type equal to property dot property serialized property type generic. So if it's that true, so check if our property dot is expanded. So we want to draw the children. If it's not, we don't want to draw the children. So if it's open, so editor GUI dot indent level will be plus plus and then minus minus, and inside that we're going to draw our property. This is a new function, so we pass our property and then our true, so we enter our children. So we done that, we have to create that method and then draw its property and then boolean, and then this would be draw children, and we can just remove that. Okay, after that else, we don't need else, but if it's not expanded, so we just want to draw the name of it itself. So we check if our property dot property type again equal to serialized property the generic again. So and then here we will check if string that is null or empty, which one? That would be last property path. If it's not equal or null, and property path that contains last property path, we don't need that. So yeah, if we did draw that, simply if it did draw that, it's not empty and it's this property, just continue. Continue means continue to the next one, continue to the next visible property. And else, we don't need else, but can just put it outside if. Else, our last property would be property dot path. Yeah, that would be set this property path to the last property, and then we just draw our property. So dot editor GUI layout dot property field, our property, and then true. It means include the children. Okay. If it's not generic, simply just do the same thing. Just print it. Just draw that. Yeah, something like that. And then after we pass inside that, and if it was expanded and have a children, so go inside the draw property and draw it. So that would be same thing. So just we can just go through each of them, each of the property. That would be prop for now, and then yeah, no, that would be serialized property, prop inside that property. We need this last prop property here again, and then again all of this. So we can copy all of this and go inside that. But there is no property, so we can move this to property, prop, and then inside every prop, go for property. Yeah. With this method, we can go through all the nested properties. Will be loop until the end of the children's. So with that method, you can draw everything. Why there is something like this happens? Oh, because we have width here. You can just remove now. We have just we want a second window will be full screen or horizontal all the way to the right. Yeah, and that's it. We can implement anything we want. We draw this object again, draw object, and then entity manager. So we can go see the result. Yeah, that would be great. Another thing we can do is I don't want to draw the script. So we're going to extend the editor windows, and then here, first of all, we check if the property that display name was equal to the script. So if it was, just continue, just skip that. And then we can go to the game manager, and then here we can go for after our label, and for the better visual we can go for editor GUI dot indent level plus plus, and then when we end that second tab details, editor GUI dot indent level minus minus. So you can see the result. Yeah, the script will not be draw, and then we go one intended level inside. Yeah, something like that. And then for our sidebar, I don't want, for example, if I put this here and this tab will be big and I can see the details more clear. So in order to manage that, we have to use our sidebar property. So here, first of all, we want to minimize our sidebar. So inside that, we go if sidebar was true, our width would be 150. If it's not, just one. So before our tab buttons, we want to create our minimize and maximize our sidebar. So we go for GUI layout dot bottom. This time we go for if sidebar was true, we want to minimize it. If it's not, just open it. So if we clicked on that, so put the sidebar equal to reverse of the sidebar. If we clicked on that, and then yeah, we're good to go. Yeah, something like that. And then after that, we have to put if a statement here, sidebar, and then if sidebar true, just print that tabs. If it's not, just don't. Yeah, now we can open and close our sidebar. And last thing we have to do is just apply our changes to our serialized property. So protect it, void, write a method for that, and then apply. And then inside that, our serialized objects that apply modified properties. And we can use it all the way down to the onGUI method. Apply, hit that apply, and you're good to go. In the next tutorial, we can implement another window and then put it here for another tab. So we can go through all our scriptable objects. Like I have many scriptable objects like actions, building, resource, and that would be gonna many buildings, many units, and many action types. And then I don't want to go through all these folders and edit them. So I want sort all of them in one window and then edit all of them by once. So that would be our next video. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comment down section below, and smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.